Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today. I'm Megan Benanti and I have your reading for January of 2021. So this is for our world empresses out there. And if you've calculated your birth cards, then your birthday adds up and reduces to 21, which is the world, and then 2 plus 1 equals 3, which is the Empress. And so this will be your reading for January. All right, so let's take a look here. First off, I'm focused on what you need to focus on this month. And, it feels like you've put some energy out there. You're waiting for something to come back to you. So as we move into January, and it's also, though, we're looking at lunar energy here. So there's a lot of uncertainty with that. It's like, okay, will anything come forward in the new year for you? And so I feel like your focus is just more being open to the opportunities that might present themselves. I'm picking up a lot about transformation, and there's a sense of, although there's excitement, enthusiasm about what might come, there's also this sense of like, let's relax into this. There's not any reason to jump to conclusions, and Empress nature too. There is an aspect for you that needs to be relaxed and to kind of chill out a little bit. So there's an honoring of that. And this is more in your relationship sector. So, maybe you've got a partner and you're really comfortable with them. If you're waiting on someone to come in, maybe it's putting some of those dating options out there and then just kind of seeing what happens back. Does somebody swipe on you? Does someone respond? But I also feel like you're a little more chill about it. It's like, okay, I'm not going to expect the world to change overnight on this. So that's good. Now, your career feels like you kind of don't know where that's going to be going. And I know you want change there, and you're just not sure if it's the right time for that yet. And it feels like this is a good time to be patient for you and not jump to conclusions on it. You might also just be feeling like you don't know where to look or how to look if you want something different, or if you want to create a new role for yourself in your current job. It's like, and some of you I just feel like are not wanting to get out of bed and deal with it. And Empresses, as we love you, but one of your strengths is the ability to relax, but that conversely can also mean you can struggle with a little bit of laziness in there. And so I feel like you're kind of fighting this magician energy a little bit of like, I don't even know where to begin. And that's okay. Until we're kind of past COVID, because your world energy is so much about closure and elevating to the next level. If you can't elevate to the next level, you're not starting anything new. It's like, why change if I can't move upwards? So there is part of that energy here that seems significant for you. Now, things that what I want you to focus on accomplishing. Okay, so we have Tower energy here, and this is some big, intense Tower energy. The deck I'm working with today, by the way, is the Moonchild Tarot, and you'll see a picture at the end. I always like to acknowledge our creators for what they do, because it really influences how I interpret this reading for you. And so it changes for each one that I do. As you move into this Tower energy, though, you need to really think about wrapping things up and what you want to end in your life. What is that closure going to be? Because, we looked at career a moment ago and you had the Magician and you weren't ready yet. But this is because you need to really decide what you want to be done with. And this is big pivotal change. Like, you have been here before, you weren't sure if you were ready yet, but there is a part of you that needs to kind of prepare to make some big transition in your personal life. For those of you that had parents that got divorced, part of this is letting go what you learned to believe about love from them in that divorce process. Some divorces can be truly successful, and really you get to have a continuously growing family, which is wonderful. But some people have, and more often than not, we have a lot of divorces that end up being challenging and difficult, and that creates a bit of a schism in what we believe to be true about love. And so I want you to really look into that, and be aware of, you've held on with this sort of false sense of safety, that it's about self-protection. And really, you're going to need to get super vulnerable if you want a new relationship. If you're in a relationship, I also feel like it's time for the walls to come down a little bit with your partner. And even once we're married, plenty of walls come down, but new ones pop up, and as we navigate our own frustrations with each other, and it's like, oh, I'm so not putting up with that. And that's not a bad thing, but we have to be aware of it and what it does to us and what it does to our relationships. And again, we also don't want to repeat what your parents have done if that didn't work out successfully, because a lot of times we indirectly do that just because it's what we learned. We don't know any different. So I think for you, as I'm looking at this, I want you to really maybe do a little research on tapping into some skill sets and about relationships. And maybe that's reading about love languages. Maybe it's understanding yourself more deeply and how you apply yourself to relationships. So just look into that, and don't be afraid of like a self-help book, or listening or to an audiobook, or reading one. Daring Greatly is a great one for relationships by Brene Brown. Love her. So that might be helpful for you. Okay. And again, I'm looking at the same energy with work. Like, you don't know where to begin here. And I think you don't really want to. And you can accomplish a lot, but your passion is not in what you're doing anymore. And so let's think about where is your passion? What do you want to be passionate about? And a lot of times I really think that if we're passionate about our lives in general, that's going to flow through the energy of whatever we're doing into our work. And because really the essence of who we are is about giving love. And I want you to be able to give this love of yourself into your work. Now, if the environment's toxic and you're like a wilting flower and you're dying in that situation, then maybe it's time to get out. I know that the job market is still probably it's a little weird out there, but I do think it's going to be like, you're going to see opportunities pop up and go away, but really fast, because people have been dying to make a transition. So if you're one of those people, I feel like you're not ready in January, but maybe that's something you're going to start working on, that resume, because you got a lot of stuck energy here, and I think you've got some mental blocks. So let's take a look at kind of weeding through those. I want you to get clear on your intentions, and to be comfortable in what you choose to do. So, okay, what do you got to challenge through? Oh, Empress energy. We love this. Okay, but this Empress too, there's 3 aspects to her, which is lovely. So, and when we think about that, mind, body, and spirit all together, you need to be in alignment with yourself. And I think that's going to be one of the things that is going to be most difficult for you, but also the most successful thing that you're going to really accomplish this month, is like knowing who you are and feeling really good about that. And I just mentioned a wilting flower a minute ago. Here I've got these fern leaves sort of popping up all over. And so I do think that you're going to be growing in some new ways. And part of that is your spiritual essence is beginning to blossom. And so I want you to just kind of acknowledge that this growth is going to be a beautiful thing. And however, that being said, it's because you're facing these difficult things. So just let it happen, go with it, really create form within yourself. And what I mean with that is you are forming who you are. And you need all 3 aspects of yourself to do that. You're the 3, so the Trinity. Mind, body, spirit. What is coming together in full alignment for you? This might be a really good time for you to do some journaling, because I feel like you can be successful in this, but I also want you to be very clear about where you're headed with it. And I think your writing will help you with that. Work, I also feel like just being consistent and keeping up with the pace and seeing yourself in this long term, yes, that is part of your challenge. Ooh, and we've got eclipse energy in this image, and so we are shifting through, and we're taking away the direct light. And so when we have this indirect vision, maybe we can't see everything, you know, what's on the peripheral? What interests you about your job? Why did you go into this job? If you are being spread too thin, and I think you're going to be finding that, then, you know, this is again, what stability does this company offer you? I feel like there's stability there, but if you're truly like you can't keep yourself together, then this is saying, okay, it's enough. It's enough. And maybe you needed someone to tell you that it's enough, but I guarantee you're there. I even have like two shadow figures on either side of this. So this person is just sort of dissolving into this. And it's so go, 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 but not necessarily meeting any fulfilling needs. Plus, in some ways, maybe you're not growing in any way. And sometimes we don't mind the challenges if we're growing and moving upward, but this is just very flatline, kind of busy work, draining type of energy. And I feel like you're saying that I didn't sign up for this. This isn't what I expected it to be. And so, okay, so if that's the truth, let's work beyond that. Now, do you have any surprises here? Let's see what we've got. You know, on a personal level, there might be some financial struggles coming up this month. And I want you to be aware of that. I don't think you might have expected this, that it could be some Christmas or holiday charges, we should say. But we might also be looking at things like property taxes, end of the year taxes, just weird stuff, because I feel like things are coming forward that were kind of a long time coming, and it's like, oh, I forgot about that, you know, that kind of energy. So I want you to be conservative with your finances, because I do think you're going to need it. Or, you know, always never be afraid to talk to someone and like, hey, can I set up a payment plan? Can I pay this out over a couple months? Because I didn't know this was going to happen, and it's way more than I expected, and I'm overwhelmed. So that's part of that. All right. Work, it's not necessarily a surprise. It is feeling stuck. Oh God. You know, and it's funny because I feel like this should be a good place for you, but it just feels toxic. And you know, part of World Empresses, it's being able to see the world and to experience new things. And I just feel like you've been stuck, you've been inside a lot, maybe you're working from home. You know, and those of you that are going in, it doesn't feel like there's the connectivity with people that feels meaningful and valuable anymore. It's like everybody's just kind of doing their part and is stuck in the mud. So for as go, go, go as a lot of this feels, it's just not fulfilling. So I really want you to think about what change might look like for you and how you might free yourself from that. Okay, so now let's take a look at what you have to offer in your relationships, because I think one of the things is we get out of our relationship what we put into it. And so I always feel like this is a really important question. And what I'm getting from you is that it's about being consistent. It's not about making great changes. It's about being reliable. There's some of you, I think, that feel stuck in your relationship right now. Like, you feel like you're not getting anything out of it, but what are you giving to it? I think you're questioning what you actually want to give to your partner right now. And if it's not a romantic partner, maybe it's a family member or a best friend. You know, energetically, it's not like we have to be in a position for a long time, but sometimes we do go through phases where we feel stuck with that. Maybe this is someone you're feeling like you're done giving to. And I want you to think about what that transformation might need to look like for you to feel more fulfilled. Also, if you have just been, kind of self-consumed with December and last year, that's okay. But I want you to think about what you want to give into the relationship moving forward. We always have to do give and take. It is going to be an empty, lonely journey if we're not able to do that. And the first place we start with is with ourselves. So if you want something from your partner, you must give it first. And that is going to make them more receptive to wanting to give you what you want. So, a lot of times we just want to ask and say, hey, look, you're not paying attention to me. I need more quality time. And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm home at 6 o'clock. I help with the kids. I do the dishes. But maybe that's not what is meaningful for you. So it's like, approach it from, instead of a complaint, hey, why don't you, when you come home tonight, I'm going to make your favorite dinner, or I made you a special dessert, or, whatever it is. Just think about how you can offer what you want to receive. Okay. I do feel like self-care for you this month is really going to be focused on your exercise and fitness and nutrition. You're building strength back. This looks great. You're pushing yourself in new ways. Honestly, and I see there's a little bit of focus on, getting more sleep and just general wellness. A lot of good enthusiasm and energy going into that. Your sex drive might also be a little higher this month, and we all know that that is really good for ourselves. So that's super positive there. Now, the other thing I want you to consider too is how you're going to pay it forward in the world. And one of the things that I think we need to do is always to be giving of ourselves to others in small ways, not necessarily in draining ways, not necessarily in monetary ways, but we're mirrors in this world. And so you've got Two of Swords here, and I feel like you kind of don't know what you want to offer people right now, and because you're looking at it as it having a consequence. What if I give something, I'm gonna have to give up something, and that's thinking through the ego, which is part of what we do as humans. But on a soul level, that is an endless abundance of light. I want you to push through this energy. You always have kindness to offer. Even if it's just a smile, it takes more energy to frown than it does to smile. So it's not a natural position for us. And I think part of this too is there's a sense for you right now, my world empresses, that maybe people haven't been as giving or as kind to you. And so I'm feeling like overall, as I look at everything, there's been some frustration here. And it's like, well, I keep getting the short end of the stick. And, well, this is life. And unfortunately, sometimes we do get the short end of the stick. And sometimes horrible things have to happen to us. But that doesn't mean that we stop giving up on who we are, that we stop developing our souls. Yes, we will be miserable if we live out of how our egos define us, which is the things by what we do and how our hair is, and all that kind of mundane everyday stuff. But you've got radiant light, and I want you to push through and begin to shine your light on others. And I think that's going to help your energy to transform, because you're just dying to push through on this, and you've been holding yourself back. And I know that January is going to be this energy where if you do the work that you need to do this month, you're going to be climbing through this energy, and then hopefully in February you can have a breakthrough and a real shift here. All right, World Empresses, I hope that you enjoyed this for today. I know that was kind of an intense one, but sometimes that's how it goes. And I'll see you guys again next month. Please feel free to leave me any constructive feedback down below, or things you might like to see in the future, as I am new to exploring on YouTube and going to be navigating this along the way. All right, thanks. Take care.